that falls in there, right?
Okay.
Yeah? You want to be
going that way.
I
You
need
want
to
to
be
be that
this
side
side,
of me.
otherwise we're going to blow over.
First time I've used this reel to cast, and the rod, and a big lead.
Straight in the tree.
So we're going in that tree.
Yeah.
Did he pay that more?
Yeah. Yeah. Come on.
Yeah, mate. Come back nice over there.
Yeah, it did.
And I'm back on.
Pick this up. Some anchovy in it?
Bit of anchovy in it.
Okay. It's a new one, fresh out hot.
Oh yeah. Nothing nice that one.
We'll drop it in for you. The legs now every one up from out
I don't know he's faking it. No, it's fake. I was just saying, it's when you sit my rig up from mid-fib and you reach me around, everyone else knew this. It's working like a dream, man. Look at that.
this as well. Yeah, what you want to have is not have it as loose as you can.
Yeah.
But if you can't get it that loose, just make sure it's constant pressure, do you know, so there's no change in pressure. I don't have any hangers on it or anything.
No, I wasn't gonna, and then over night time I probably would have done, just so then I don't strike the wrong rod, if I'm honest, just. I think it's working too well, isn't it, though? He's trying to put it under.
Yeah, right. Here it comes, that's it.
That's it. That's him.
Jesus. Something went off under that tree, mate. Big tail slap under that tree.
Was it?
Yeah, big thrashing tail slap. Oh, he's in. Fuck me, he's in.
Who, Ted?
Yeah. Should go round now. Didn't take him long.
Is it him under the tree or?
He had it under the tree. I think he's pulled it out now. Okay, so to wind away the hours while Keith's sorting his tackle out behind us, which you heard that he already had a run earlier on. I thought I'd have a little go trying to catch some little live baits. We've got a couple already, and I'm just using a little 3-metre whip. I'll show you in a moment. I haven't got no maggots. Our friend Ted, who's fishing across the lake from us, who unfortunately has just lost a good fish by the looks of it. I saw a big old tail slap under the island as he was playing it. So yeah, he's got some maggots, so I might ponce some off him a little bit later. And yeah, I thought I'd have a little go and try and use what you got. So I'm using a little bit of pork pie sausage, the meat inside a pork pie. Yeah, and I've already had a little gudgeon already. I've only sort of first cast had a little gudgeon. And yeah, let me show you. It's a 3-metre whip. It's a Cackle one. I've had it for quite a few years. Telescopic, say 3-metre whip. I'm not using a pole float. Normally I use a pole float, but in this case I'm just using, as you can see, a little 3 number 4 waggler, crystal waggler. It's probably fished about 2.5 foot. And as you can see there, little tiny size 18 red hook with a little tiny piece of meat on. And like I said, I've already had a little lovely gudgeon doing it. I'll throw the gudgeon back because we've got some baits already, but yeah, might hang on to some in a moment. We are running out of live baits. Keith caught some this morning for us on a little bit further down, and they look like nice sized roach for catfish basically. So, you know, fishing the tipper rigs there, tipper rigs and dumbbell rigs, you know, it's the first time I've done it, and I'm really enjoying it. But I've got to admit, actually sitting here just doing a little bit of roach bashing, I'm quite enjoying it. It's really good. Not that I'm catching roach at the moment, but takes you almost back to, like, although I'd never really done it as a childhood. In my childhood, I'd imagine this is like taking you back as a child. You know, little 3-metre whip. You know, I'm just as entertained doing this kind of fishing as I am trying to catch a big catfish. So, you know, it's like little and large next to each other, really, like me and Keith. But yeah, going to try and catch a few little fish as bait, and then on the other side of this willow, which I'll show you in a moment, I'm going to go and sort of put a little live bait out for perch for a little while and see how we get on. I mean, the witching hour, once our catfish rods are settled out and we've recast them and everything, then yeah, once they're settled, I'll be going around the corner and trying to catch myself some perch. Now, there's 2 lakes on this complex, and the top lake holds some really big perch by all accounts, as well as there are perch in this water, but they don't really get fished for, so they don't really know just how big they go. But I imagine there's a few specimens in here, and fishing under a willow, that's probably one of the best places to start, to be honest. So let's see how we get on, eh? There we go, another little fish. Little gudgeon. Hey. There we go. Lovely little gudgeon. Absolutely beautiful. Look at the colours on him. Perfect live bait size for perch. But this one's going back because I'm catching them thick and fast on my pork pie meat. Awesome. Let's let him go. Okay, so let's give you a little update of what's been going on today, because I haven't really been making too many blog entries, if I'm being honest. I'm just enjoying the fishing and what I'm doing and the relaxation for what it is. So let's recap. It's 6:10. Keith has just gone to catch some live bait, some slightly larger live bait from a match lake, which is just opposite, just a small match lake. You're catching sort of nice size roach and bream for the type of fishing we're doing, which is obviously live baiting for catfish, what I call proper catfishing. You know, in the past I've done plenty of catfishing where I'm using sort of carp style setups and carp style baits, but also using things like liver, squid, you know, beef heart, that kind of thing. So, and dead baits as well. So I've done a lot of that kind of catfishing as well. My PB is only £25, it's not massive, although I've sort of held £110 and an 86 pounder as well, so I know what a big catfish looks like and feels like. but playing one's a completely different matter. Anyway, I'm going off topic a little bit. So yeah, this is real catfishing to me. As you know, we've joined up with Ted and Kelly. Now Kelly's at work today. Ted is fishing behind us, so he started off the day fishing with us. He's fishing just behind us on the opposite side of the bank. Absolutely lovely guy. Really, as much as I love Kelly as well, but Ted is a really nice guy. It's the first time we really sort of spent time together, and he's such a really nice fella. Do anything for you, that kind of thing. I really like him. I can see myself knowing that kind of person for a long time, a bit like Keith. So yeah, Keith, like I say, he's gone to the match lake. What I'll do is at some point I'll show you a little tour of our swim, and you know, people like to see sort of tackle you're using and the setups you got and so on and so forth. So I'll show you what I feel and what I've sort of been helped with is what you should really have for UK catfishing. Now, the reason why I say that is because so far today, now on this complex at Cacklehill, you've got 2 lakes, as well as a match lake. There's a small match lake as well, and a small pond. But this is Specie Lake 1, and you've got Specie Lake 2. Now, Specie Lake 2 is what we was originally going to be fishing, we booked on for, but there's a lot of people up there fishing, mainly carp anglers, because a lot of carp have been coming out recently up there. Now, they hold some very big catfish. I'm not entirely sure the sizing that go. I'm sure I'll let you know at some point. But there's a lot of big catfish up there, and that's what Keith had his 38 from a few weeks ago. Not his PB, his previous PB. He's had a 50 since at Slough House. But I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll actually insert at the end of this little blog part some of the photos of Keith's recent captures, because he really is smashing it for catfish at the moment. So yeah, Specimen Lake 2, there's a lot of catfish and big catfish up there, but the bigger ones are in Specimen Lake 1, which we're fishing, which wasn't our first option. But if I'm being honest, I actually quite like it. It's very quaint, it's very small. Our swim reminds me a little bit of, I don't know if you guys have watched Wet Nets years ago, when Matt Hayes and Mick Brown had 2 60-pound catfish, when obviously the British record was in play at that time. It's been taken out of play now. And they both had a 60-pound catfish each. And there's a particular swim that Matt and Mick were fishing, and our swim looks like that swim from Winton's fishery down in, is it East Sussex or Sussex? So it looks very reminiscent of that. And I like these little small, quaint sort of lakes. I mean, the width of this lake is probably about the size of the width of my club water, which hold 4 catfish, which I'll be, you know, using these skills and hopefully utilising and catching now. I just have to deal with the pike problem if I'm going to be catfishing up there, if I'm using this kind of methods and that. So yeah, we've stuck on Specimen Lake 1, and Specimen Lake 2 I think is a lot bigger. There's a lot more open water, so the type of rigs that we're using, like tipper rigs and dumbbell rigs, gives you more of a scope for that. I mean, as you saw earlier on in a little snippet I showed you, Keith using the winch rig, which again is all very new to me. I've actually since put my 2 rods out on the winch rig, and yeah, it felt, well, I'll put one of my rods out on the winch rig and put 2 of Keith's rods out on the winch rig. Since then, like I say, Ted's lost 2 fish, Keith's had a run, an absolute storm of a run. We were both asleep. Because I've not been feeling too good the last few days, and I've not been sleeping very well. I've really got some sort of stomach cramps and stuff like that. I've barely been eating, so I've not been feeling too good. So I went to sleep and Keith went to sleep, and just as we was really sort of drifting into our sleep, Keith's rod tore off. You know when you get a catfish bite from the surface, absolutely ripped off on his tipper rig. I've turned over and I've seen he's lying in the water going quite straight and zooming off, so it was obviously a catfish run, and he's picked the rod up he's using circle hook, so he's not striking into it, you have to wind into it, and yeah, unfortunately he lost that fish. But it's a bit gutting because, like I say, on this Specimen Lake 1 the fish grow larger than average, or larger than Specimen 2, so the monster size, I believe, you know, they've got to be over 80 pounds in this lake, maybe even up to 100. Don't quote me on that, I'm pretty sure they're around that size. Like I say, this is the first time I've really fished this place, and I haven't really done my homework on it, but it also holds some really nice perch. I've already caught a load of little live baits for perch as well, and yeah, I'm fishing a willow, so when I show you around the camp in a little while, I'll also show you the swim. I'm going to go and do a little bit of perch fishing. So I'll show you the sort of tackle at some point, maybe tomorrow. I'll just give you a little zip round the swim, show you the area, and then I'll show you the tackle that I'm using for this kind of catfishing, and which, if you're going to do this type of fishing, is what you should really be using. And other than that, yeah, I'm really enjoying myself. Oh, and I had a bream. I had a bream about that big. Take a big piece of luncheon meat. I was using one rod on a live bait setup, and I was using one on a conventional setup, and I was standing there talking to Ted, and it just roared off. Anyway, sort of struck into it and didn't feel big at all. I thought it was only a little small catfish I may have hooked, but no, I hooked a bream just under the mouth, so I think it must have been either foul hooked or whatever, but it's a large piece of luncheon meat. But that's what I've had the most knocks on. I'm watching my tipper rig now behind me, but like I say, I'm going to give you a little brief look around the swim in the next 10 minutes, and then you can see, and then we'll talk through maybe some tactics and some tackle tomorrow at some point. But fingers crossed, when the witching hour comes and Keith comes back and we reposition our baits and put our baits out, all 4 of them are going to be on live baits. Yeah, really looking forward to it. So keep tuned, keep watching, and hopefully we'll bring you a fish, be it me, Keith or Kelly when she turns up after work, and Ted. So buzzing. Right folks, so the little tour's promised. Let's go and have a little look at Keith first and his little setups. Here he is. We ain't seen him today. How you doing, Weller?
I'm good, mate. You?
How you feeling about today so far?
I don't know, really.
It's been a bit weird, isn't it?
It has been a bit weird. It was a slow start because we didn't get on the lake that we originally booked onto because it was so busy. Specie 2, which is at the top lake. But we've done the right thing, I think. There's like 15 pegs, I think, on the lake, and
I agree.
I think there's like 12 anglers on there already. So for you to squeeze on, for me, that's bad etiquette anyway, because people are already sort of fishing there and more pressure on the lake and everything else. Plus,
big cats wiping out lines.
plus also, yeah, if you do look into fish, it's probably more problems than what it's worth. So after getting there at 7:30 and then waiting for the owner to get here at 9:30,
Yeah.
to then speak to them to say, look, can we move our booking from Specie 2 to Specie 1? Getting on here, hopefully it's going to be a blessing in disguise, because other than 2 anglers that are fishing sort of right down the opposite end of the lake, I think it's probably about 4 acres, but it's very narrow. We've got a lovely bit of water out in front of us, sort of like a bit of a bay. And hopefully, yeah, like I said, a bit of a blessing in disguise, and we can try and nick a few. I've already had one bite, but sort of after all the shenanigans of this morning and then getting the bivvy ready and all the rigs out, I don't think it was sort of probably 12 or 1 o'clock by the time we got all sorted. Then I fell asleep for an hour, and during that time I had a good run that I woke up and missed. So fingers crossed for the night.
Yeah, and to be fair, it is like you pointed out a minute ago, it's actually quite a pretty little place. All the catfish lakes so far that we've fished in Kent have been quite pretty, haven't they?
Let's have a look. I've burnt it again.
Oh, Keith, yeah, he has a... What was it you had earlier on? Was it a pie or a panini or something? You burnt? That's me gassing with him. Sorry, Wella. Oh, I know you're going to muller that, mate. If I eat that right now, my guts, mate. Oh. But, so yeah. So Keith's had his first run earlier on, as I sort of stated to you. But just showing you a little sort of setup. I mean, he's got the same rods as me now. They're 12 foot, 4.5 pound test curve. We'll explain reasoning behind that tomorrow, any of you guys that are new to catfishing. And we've got some little live baits over the back there in the net. Ready for some perch fishing in a minute, and obviously what we're keeping our catfishing live baits in, sort of modest sized bream and roach. And yeah, so it's Keith's little bivvy. Nice little chub cypre dome, isn't it, Keith?
Chub sidefish, yeah.
Sidefish, is it?
Yeah.
You've had that quite a while, isn't it? I've always liked the shape of that.
Yeah, it does a good job. It's a good winter bivvy. It's got a nice winter skin on it, so it does a good job in the winter. But for the summer, when it's really hot, there's no vents on it or anything like that. But with the single skin and everything else,
Well, it's old school, isn't it? You know, I don't know if they got a newer version or if they still make these at all.
By not putting in a ground sheet in it, it keeps it a bit cooler because of the grass and everything anyway. So.
Of course, yeah. If I hadn't have got my Fox ones, Camelite style ones, then I would certainly have looked at this to buy. It's a really nice bivvy. You see there, he's got his winch rod next to him,
The winch rod, yeah.
which we showed you a little bit earlier on. But I'm sure Keith will talk us through it a little bit more depth, hopefully tomorrow. We'll see. And yeah, so over here we've got the unlooking mat and the waist sling. Again, I'll talk you all through it a little bit more tomorrow. And then we've got the tripod for weighing the cats, bucket so we can put water in there, splash the fish with. My rods, as stated, exactly the same as Keith's, fishing slightly differently. He's got the old Sonic reels as well, the SKS I think they are. Nice reels they are. Absolutely brilliant budget reels. I'll be honest with you, mate, I'd certainly have a pair of them. The only thing that sort of puts me off a little bit is I like bait runner facilities on my predator fishing rods, but that's sort of a minor glitch that you can fish around really. The only thing I'll say that me and Keith don't have, again I'll touch upon it tomorrow in a bit more depth, is I've got my net there, obviously Keith's net's over the back there as well. They're 42-inch landing nets, but really for this sort of lake with big cats in, if you're not hand landing them or getting in the water, then you're looking at needing at least a 60-inch net really. For any of you guys that have actually fished for catfish know that the catfish can be a little bit of a nightmare to get the arse end in, the tail end. They like to swim backwards a little bit as well. So there you go, I've got my welcome mat. I should really have in there welcome home or whatever. But yeah, this is my bivvy. This is the Camelite bivvy. Well, I say bivvy, it's a brolly system. It's a 50-inch. You've probably seen it before in previous videos. Let's just walk over here a little bit. Previous videos. And that's why I bought, it's only 50-inch. I wanted it for getting in tight swims, even though I'm a big old fella. I could have really done with a 60-inch, but I got a really good price on this.
That was the catfish roll.
Oh, was there a swirl out there, was there?
Just beyond the tip of the rig.
Sweet. So yeah, Keith's, we'll come back to my bivvy in a minute. Keith's got one tipper rig over there by the tree. I don't know if you can see that. And he's got one out in mid-water, or open water, and I've done the same. I've got one, he's got these just there, dumbbell rig, and I've got two tippers, one in the margin, it's been out all day, they're still swimming nice and strong, and then I've got another tipper rig right over on the far side. I may need to wind that back a little bit later to allow Kelly some room over there for one of her rods, but we'll see what's happening. So yeah, so the bivvy doesn't come with a skin. The modern version I think has a skull cap now, an internal skull cap. Oh yeah, has an internal skull cap which has condensation, helps with a bit of condensation. So yeah, you know, bucket, my bait, and I've got things like all my little tackle boxes, and just up here as well I've got the new, well, I don't know if it's new, but I've got Catfish Pro bag with all the tackle in. Again, we'll go through all the tackle tomorrow and what I've got in that. Scales goes up to £60, so they go to bigger in here, so I'm hoping that Ted's got some bigger scales, or Keith. My beloved bucket that I take everywhere, used for many various functions we won't go into. And tonight, my beloved tablet, so I can sit and watch some movies.
Oh, what are we watching?
Oh, you're watching, mate. But I might watch Jaws.
What are we watching? Come on.
I got my old Camelite. I bought this new. Again, I'm a little bit of an obsessive. I like things to be matching. Not that it matters, but I like it to be matching, like my bed chair. I'll show you my buckled leg in a minute. One of the legs has gone buckled under my weight, I think. So I'm proper smashing it up. I really do. I'll tell you what, if there's any tackle companies out there, I want their tackle or items of tackle testing, trust me, I will put it through their paces. Someone my size will tell you if it's a strong, decent, reliable piece of tackle. You know, I usually stick with Fox because their bed chairs have always done quite well for me in the past. And yeah, one of them lasted 20 years. This one is my strong bed chair, but it's buckling on the legs. But then I have got the legs extended. Normally I don't have them extended. I like to be a little higher now. Yeah, so really comfortable fleece lined pillow, hollow fibre. Let's come out. No, I'm alright, matey. My deli belly today. you can see that buckled leg at the bottom. Proper mash up. Yeah, and that's me. Yeah, had to do it. Delkins, London Predator Angler Catfish logo. Yes! A bit slaggy, a bit tarty, but yeah. And that's it really, that's just a little show around the swim. Like I say, I'll go a little bit more in depth on tackle maybe tomorrow. We'll certainly look at some more rigs, a little bit more in depth. Maybe have a little chat with Kelly. And a little bit of chat with Ted as well. But sorry for the lack of filming on the first day. I just really fancied just chilling out, and I wasn't really in the mood to start filming. I just wanted to settle down and enjoy the fishing. It's been a while since I've been on the bank.
I've only really just got settled down anyway.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, what time is it? It's gone.
It's probably about 7 o'clock.
And we've only really proper settled down, haven't we? Apart from a little kit we had earlier.
About 2 hours ago, because I think by the time we get onto the lake, and then we had to go. There's a match lake that's just beyond us where we were allowed to go and catch live baits. So to go and catch, I wouldn't say it's prolific, but by the time we feed in maggots and that, you're probably catching 10, maybe 10 live baits in 40 minutes, something like that. So by the time it's about an hour by the time you get there and back with some live baits. So by the time we've done that and got fishing.
Yeah. I mean, you can catch live baits from this water that we're fishing. I mean, obviously don't bring them in from elsewhere, as long as it's on the complex. And I've been trying to catch live bait, and I've caught some sort of modest sized ones. I've even got a small one out now on one of my rigs. But for catching perch bait,
with these two specialty lakes, they net it quite often. So any small fish, they put into the match lake. Right.
Okay. So they net it, and obviously
the only sort of the only silvers that are in these lakes are the ones that would fit through the net.
But that's kind of good though.
You can't always catch them all.
Yeah, it shows it's a healthy fishery if that amount of silverfish are coming through with such predatory catfish. So, you know, this is a thing that people neglect with predators. They think if you take the predators, this is only my view, but they think if you take the predators out of the venue or out of the situation, that, you know, you can catch loads of fish, which is true. But look at the Serengeti with the lions. You take the lions and the jackals and the hyenas away, all the predators and scavengers, then you're going to get deformities, inbreeding, and so on, and you just and all the prey animals just get out of control. So to keep a really healthy fishery, I believe that predators are a necessity. And if they do get a little bit out of control, eventually, with a little bit of help, or if you leave it to settle, like with Xander up on the fens, they start to settle down, and those fisheries then become sort of, you know, the norm, shall we say. But that's just my little 2 penn'orth worth. That's how I see it. But anyway, I'm going to do a little bit of perch fishing next door. So once I've set up and I'm having a little go, we'll have a little chat then maybe. And maybe even put a perch on the bank. I doubt it, but let's give it a go anyway. So some catfishing session this has turned out to be. I've ended up doing a little bit of live baiting, as I said. I'm just in the other side of the tree, just to the right hand side of me, so I can see both my rigs are out fishing at the moment. But yeah, I'm just doing a little bit of live baiting for perch. Got a nice little cove bay in front of me, and Keith's just had a little look around there, see if there's any carp. We saw some lovely koi this morning when we first turned up. And he's got his carp rods with him as well, so maybe he might have a go for the carp tomorrow if things are slow with the cats. I'm sure they'll start picking up as the witching hour starts to approach, which isn't long now as the sun's starting to fade down. Absolutely beautiful this place is. And yeah, I'm fishing a small little roach. I'll show you the setup very quickly. A lip-hook little roach. That's a little drop shot hook with 6 pound fluorocarbon hook link. No pike in here. No, 4 pound fluorocarbon hook link. Like I say, no pike in here. Got a little 5 gram German ball bob. One of my favourite perch live bait floats for fishing, sort of free roving. A little bead above that, and got a little egg sinking SSG shot with a little swivel, and yeah, a little stop knot a little bit further up, so it's fishing about sort of 2 foot. This is a Shimano Yassi 9 foot. Again, you'll probably see this in future videos. Shimano Yassi 9 foot dead bait Zander. It's a 5 to 15 gram casting weight, which is, you know, it's a lot lighter than the Yassi Red Zander Pleasures that you see me use when I do a lot of my urban fishing at docks and places like that. Coupled with a little 1500 Stratic Shimano reel with fighting drag. I kind of like that little setup. It's perfect for, this reel is also perfect, goes on my little 9 foot winkle picker, which you all see on the video when I last went pike fishing with Keith. I had a little perch doing that. So yeah, just casting this out in front of me. Like I say, it's just lip hooked. Sun's starting to go down now, so it's kind of witchy now for perch and catfish, or any predator really. So just fingers crossed I might be able to bag one. It doesn't have to be massive. Like I say, they do go to a fair size in these waters. See how we get on. I'll get back to you if I catch one.
Very
Awesome.
pale.
Cool. Ready, mate?
It's a beauty.
Tell me when you're ready.
Sharp
Got him?
Yeah. Got this one.
We got him. There you go.
Sweet. So there we go, boys. Absolutely awesome. So how big was it again?
48.
48, and it was on a tipper rig, was it?
On the tipper.
Absolutely beautiful. Look at that. What a monster. Unbelievable.
Yeah,
How'd you feel? Team effort, wasn't it?
Team effort, yeah.
Oh. Fantastic.
Yeah.
So first one of the trip. There she goes. Boom.
Oh, he only clamped it.
Yes, lads. Sweet. I think you're a good luck charm, Kel.
With your head tilt jump.
Sweet. Nice one. So, what a good luck charm Kelly is. So she's just turned up from work to come down and start fishing with her husband, Ted. And as we was having a little chinwag, Keith and Ted end up having a 48 pounder, which is crazy. So yeah, we've just weighed it. You just seen it. Weighed it at 48 pounds. Was it 48 on the button, Keith?
Yeah, 48
Yeah.
on the nose.
48 pound on the nose. Oh, what a fish! It was a really nice fish. As you can see, it was quite a long fish, and it's really very light coloured.
Colour, isn't it?
Yeah, very light colours. Yeah. So yeah, it's all kicking off, and yeah, we got some nice snaps of those, which obviously I'll insert. And as you saw just now, well, you didn't see just now, just as we was putting the catfish back, literally 5 minutes after they put it back, you guys know that I had a run earlier. Rather than use a winch method, I actually recast it, just hand casted it out to where my margin rod is, so they're roughly at the same length. Normally you'd use a winching rod obviously to take it out, so you don't sort of damage the live bait. So I just thought, oh no, I'll just cast it out until Keith comes back and then we'll winch it later. So I've cast it out not that far out in the margin, and obviously as that 48 went back, 10 minutes later, my other, the same rod rattled off, and unfortunately, maybe it's something I'm doing wrong. I am new to this. This is not the carping for cats that I'm used to doing. Just not hook into them. I mean, Keith's pulled out of a few. I pulled out of 2 now, so they're coming thick and fast. But having a little chat with Kelly, when she turned up, she really knows her stuff, and she was telling me about this particular lake, telling me about the complex and what really pressure that the catfish really put on tackle. And with Ted being snapped up earlier on twice during the day, that's sort of testament to how strong the tackle has to be. But as I promised, I will talk a little bit about the tackle tomorrow. Perhaps I'll talk to Kelly and Ted and they'll tell you through a few rigs and tackle and that. Keith is obviously a bit of wealth of knowledge now. He's picking it up and learning. So we'll have a little chat with Keith as well, and we'll look at some of the rigs and they'll talk about some of why they're specialist rigs for this kind of fishing. But anyway, just lay back, relax, and hopefully wait for one of mine or Keith's rods to start rattling off. Bye for now. There we go. There we go. Middle of the night, and Keith's had another one, little kitten, probably around £15, maybe £10–15.
Yeah, he won't move away now. Just try and get it straight back. But
yeah, definitely. So let's let him bag it and pop it in the net, and we'll pop him straight back.
good morning. Thought I'd bring you up to speed on the night that's been. Just doing myself a bit of breakfast. It's about 7:30 in the morning now. Got myself a nice cup of coffee, second one of the day already, and sausage roll in the Ridge Monkey. So before I tuck into that, whilst I'm there, if you've not tried it, when you bring milk with you, it's something else you've got to worry about, trying to keep it cold, and especially in the summer months, it's never easy. And someone's put me onto this. It's with your coffee, 2 spoons of condensed milk. It's going to change your life. It's it's a bit special. No need for sugar or anything. Makes it nice and sweet. But yeah, a couple of spoons of condensed milk in your coffee in the morning instead of normal a normal bit of green top. It's the one. Anyway, yeah, last night. So all about sort of 10 o'clock. A couple of people who have come to meet down here, Ted and Kelly, extremely good fishermen. Ted had to shoot off about 10 o'clock and left me in care of one of his rods. He'd wound the other 2 in that he's fishing with. He had leech rigs on those and wound those in because they needed sort of changing and repositioning anyway, but he's only just fishing up the bank for me, so left one rod in position and left that in my care, and within 5 minutes of shooting off, he had a screaming take, and after a 20-minute epic battle with a catfisher, took me behind an island, and just as sort of Ted was getting back, he helped me land a stunning looking 48-pound catfish. So I'm not sure on people's views on whose capture that would come under, sort of Ted's gear and his rig, but my battle. So a bit of a joint effort really, a bit of a team capture, and I'm happy to share it with him. It was a stunning looking fish, a massive head on it, a belly on it that probably could do with a few more pounds, if I'm honest. It's definitely got potential to be a real big one, but the colour pattern of it was real, sort of like quite a light white, almost white body and tail with a real mottled finish to him. He was a stunning fish, and of course that gets everybody motivated for the night ahead when you're thinking that bite time's coming. Catfish are predominantly a sort of a nocturnal predatory fish, although with that said, the commercials these days, when bait's going in all the time and people are fishing for them all the time, day and night, and the clarity of the water, they can feed throughout the day as well. So it got to about midnight, and Barry had an aborted take on his left-hand rod, really screamed off, but as he sort of pulled into it, there was nothing there. Whether that's due to sort of catfish are quite sensitive, a bit like pike, and don't like any resistance, so he's fishing really sort of quite light on the bait runner Barry, and his bobbins all set really light, and he struck into it, and there was nothing there. And then within sort of had a recast very quickly, put it back out. Within 15 minutes had another take on that same rod, but again an aborted take. So, but it showed they were feeding, and the enthusiasm and the optimism was there. And then again about sort of midnight, 12:30, my right hand rod this time sort of tore off, and I sort of was attached to a real, what I thought was going to be a really good fish. It sort of took me around, took out my other rod, had him on for about 10 minutes, and when it's pitch black and you've got your head torch on, you're trying to look, see if it's going to be a good one or not, and it turned into be a mid-double, sort of 10 or 15, sort of 12, 15 pound fish, but welcome all the same. You know, it shows your rigs are working, it shows they're out and they're feeding. So yeah, it was over the moon to get that one in. Got the rods all back into position, recast my left hand rod as well because we took that out, and then the optimism faded, and about 4:30 was up with no more bites throughout the night. At first light around 4:30, watched the water till about 5:30 with my first cup of coffee of the day, and didn't see a great deal. So the rigs are still out there, still working. The dumbbell rig and the tipper rig, the live baits that's on those both seem to be still alive. Still working well out there, but no real action. So gonna have me roll in a minute, finish my second cup of coffee, and then think of a plan throughout the day. I'm thinking that perhaps sort of down to my left, only sort of the next peg along, there's no one in there, but it's really tucked behind an island. It's really quite tight. If you get a bite in there, it'd be sort of real hit and hold sort of stuff, but in those snaggy tight swims might be where the catfish are lied up during the day. So I'm thinking to move my left hand rod down there, and perhaps leave my right hand rod in position where it's been, where I've had bites already, and just see how we go from there. So fingers crossed we'll be able to come back to you a bit later on with a big catfish on the bank, for me, and probably more so for Barry.
Take one.
Cut.
Yeah, cut. Take one.
Oh, he's good at editing. That's the art of hook. Snap me.
Man, we used to do this at 3 in the morning, wouldn't we? I'm actually quite enjoying this. This is really sort of a good little method.
It is really good.
It takes at first to get your head around it. It's a little bit, you think, oh my god, it looks complex, but it's actually,
a little bit cumbersome, but
once you know what you're doing, and with the help of Kelly and Ted showing us what to do.
this one just needs to look sort of like the second phase of ripple, yeah?
There we go. So it's almost like casting at the same time. Obviously with Key being the lead caster. Fantastic. Appreciate this, guys. They're doing my rods for me. Service with a smile. So what Kelly's doing now is she's the weight staying, the lead staying there in position, and Kelly's slowly drawing the second rod back, which is clipped to the first rod. So the actual lead is where Keith had cast it to. So what they'll do is I'll unclip the second rod, the winch rod, then they'll get a bait on,
quite how it should always work. The swivels come out of the...
Yeah, it's a makeshift, isn't it, Keith? It's a little makeshift boom that Keith's made. Just needs a little dab of glue to keep it in place. We had a bit of problems with it last night, but it still works fine. Man, it's really easy to knock up. Keith's bought enough supplies to knock about 50 of them up. So he can knock me one up. Fantastic. Yeah, because the other rod's on a slightly smaller hook setup, I think.
It was.
Oh, did you? Oh, fantastic. See? Service with a smile.
I'm not going to tell you.
Why not? You really think I'm that harsh? I say, no, bring it back. You two don't know what you're doing. I'm the least experienced here, guys. I'm following your leads.
Breathe in. It's about you more than it is me. That's it. That is now.
And a lot of people hook up through the mouth and then through the nostril, but the reason that we do it this way is because when you think of it swimming around, it's swimming like that, whereas if you go the other way, it's swimming upwards.
Right.
Might not swim upside down, yeah.
Yeah, so that's why your bait tends to last longer.
And Kelly's putting an additional bit of scent on now.
Yeah.
What's that you're putting on there, Kel?
This one's anchovy flavour.
Okay. Let's have a look at that, Keith.
Bio Edge one.
Bio Edge, yeah. I've heard some really good stuff about this, so fantastic. It works for Kelly and Ted, so...
Yeah, it's good on lures as well, where you've got a red packet as well.
Oh, it's good to put on lures as well. Fantastic. So now they're winching it out. So Keith's going to draw the main rod back very slowly. Kelly's going to let the live bait go, and then draw it back into position. Really. See, it looks a lot more complicated than it actually is. It's fairly straightforward.
It's hard to explain. It's easier when you can show how it's done.
Of course, yeah.
Trying to explain to somebody how to rinse something.
Of course, I even, before coming to this trip, went online to have a look. Because I think someone explained it to me, another friend of mine. And I had to go online because I couldn't make out what he was talking about. Just to see somebody else do it. I think it was a video with Jan Porter, bless him, rest in peace. Yeah, the man in red himself. Hence the reason I'm now wearing red. Fantastic. Nice one, Keith. I appreciate that, guys.
And then you see where the tip is sat now, you want it just to tighten up a little bit to that, just a little bit.
Let's see. Yeah, just zoom in. There you go. So you can see the tip out in the water. And what Keith's doing, yeah, what Keith's doing is just tightening up to the tipper now to try and get it in the right, correct position. So there we go. You can see the tipper out there. And you really do get some fantastic takes on this setup. Looks amazing. And my second one is just over by the island. Fantastic. And we're all set up and in place. So how quick was that? 5 minutes? Less than that? Awesome. Didn't know if it's the catfish eating them. Yeah, we saw the red kites, didn't we? Actually, there was a robin in your bivvy a minute ago.
Was there?
Yeah, looking for food. We gave him a few maggots.
Did you give him some maggots?
Yeah, he was appreciative. He come quite close, actually. God, you got that really close, mate. Let's hope you don't snag like last time.
There should be a little
the smallest roach and the biggest hook. It's going to be like a anchor.
Yeah.
Keeps trying to make him move. Wake up, goddammit.
We've got some maggots. We can have a go getting a new one.
It's literally an hour left. It's not worth it, is it? Just stick your mouth dead.
A little bit of a smaller boat.
It'll be the dead one that goes off.
Yeah.
Okay, it'll be alright.
Selling.
Yeah, there.
Or anything else.
I can tell.
I think he's facing it properly up there. This one too.
Yeah, it's probably a bit small.
No, it's alright. On the tip end of it, it has a little touch.
Keith's got this thing about having a huge dead bait out or live bait out.
No.
I suppose they take leeches and they're
Exactly, they're tiny. Now, if they see you on the surface thrashing about, they're going to want it, aren't they? What are you? What are you doing to my reel?
right round the bottom of the spool.
Right, he's good.
I don't think I've casted any of my rods. All I've done is done Keith's.
Is there?
I've only helped you cast yours. I don't think I've put my own rods out since yesterday.
And there's never a wasted trip, mate. Bit of winching experience this weekend. Or
It's been good.
weekend, is it?
Watching it coming to life, it's been good to watch.
Nothing about getting close to fire. I got close earlier with that one, by the other side. And the live bait was not climbing up the tree.
Mind you, if I was to cast that tree, I'd probably end up in it.
What?
Sweet. Let's have a look.
Yeah, I like this a bit.
Any newbies that turn up to this lake that don't know nothing about catfishing, they'll probably walk past the lake and think, what the hell is in these lakes? Yeah, what are these silly contraptions floating about?
People do ask when they see them.
I've got to admit, if I didn't know about fishing, I'd wonder.
Ted said it didn't really kick off till 5 o'clock yesterday though.
5 o'clock, just as we're packing up.
Yeah.
He's lively out there though, that one.
Well lively.
Sweet. What's up, chaps? Another little update. It's around sort of 3:30 now. It's still raining, drizzling. It's coming down sort of like I say, a drizzle. Had a nice little chat with Ted. He's come around, had a little bit of a social with us. I'm sure we'll see Kelly in a little while once it stops raining maybe, but yeah, we just had like a nice catch up, a nice chat, you know, about all things fishing and having a laugh and a giggle, and it's nice to have a little bit of a social bond. It's a shame Kelly and Ted are on the other side of the lake. It would have been lovely if we could have had 4 swims together. Unfortunately, it's not to be. That's just how it has to be. We're going to try and do another social at some point. We was talking maybe coming September and meeting up. I must admit, I will admit, I'm not. I'm really enjoying this session. I'm really enjoying everything about it. But those 3 guys, Keith, Kelly, and Ted, really want me to catch. Really want me to bag a catfish. because Keith's had catfish, Ted's had one, I think Kelly's had a couple of runs, but they're proper catfish mad anyway. They always catch them, but they're really sort of desperate for me to personally have one, which yeah, I'm buzzing. I really want one. I really want to bag one on this method because I'm really enjoying how the method works. But secondly to that, I'm feeling very lethargic, very tired. I was feeling very ill yesterday, as you guys know, with sort of tummy cramps. I've barely eaten anything. I barely drunk anything, and I just feel really sort of lethargic and tired. But I'm enjoying myself, and I'm enjoying watching them guys doing what they're doing. Hence the reason you've seen probably a lot more of those on this video than you have of me, in terms of like showing you casting out, that kind of thing. Let's just, there we go. Yeah, so yeah, really enjoying it, and I really love Ted and Kelly's company. I really hope we can fish a little bit closer next time, so we can have a bit more of a social. And like I say, possibly September, and if that's the case, we can have maybe a little barbecue together or something like that. I don't know. Keith at the moment, he's tucked under a tree on the opposite side of the bank in the corner. He's wound his cat rods in, and he's gone and he's bought his 9-foot son's carp rods, so he's gone to try and catch a couple of carp from here. He's been told by Kelly and Ted that the carp in this particular lake, which we saw yesterday, some queer, are very difficult to catch. So he's gone round and he's got a couple of fish feeding. He's spotted a few where the wind's blowing into the corner, and he's gone round there, and he's, like I say, he's huddled under a tree, and he's doing a little bit of stalking for an hour or two, see if he can winkle a carp out. I mean, you've got to be in it to win it, and you've got to try, I suppose. But I just want to say now, in case I forget to say at the end of the video, just a massive thank you to the accommodation of Ted and Kelly, being so nice and accommodating and helping me and stuff like that, and showing Keith as well, and Keith showing me. And I really do appreciate Keith as a friend. I know it's a bit corny, but sometimes I think things need to be said. Keith does a lot for me, and he really does help me out. So yeah, it wouldn't be the same if I wasn't fishing with Keith anymore. And the less time that me and Keith fish together, which is every now and again compared to all the time, it makes me enjoy it more when we do meet up. I just hope he can put up all the whinging and moaning and the bullshitting and the groaning that I tend to do sometimes. But yeah, it's really been a nice experience. It's nice to be out on the bank. I've got my 2 rods out on tippers. Because Keith's vacated to swim, I've now covered more water out in front of me, because he's doing a bit of carp fishing. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I may bag one by the end of the session. I think even if I bagged a little 20-pound kitten, I think that would it would make the session for me, because it would really sort of give me some confidence, obviously, using this new technique in terms of winching and using live baits with surface rigs. It's been quite exciting. I've really enjoyed it, so I'm really looking forward to putting it back into practice, stocking up on a few more items that I didn't have, because obviously it was all, I only bought what I thought I may have needed. But yeah, I'm loving this style of catfishing. But to have a 100-pounder on, or even a 50-pound pluser, I think would frighten me a little bit at the moment, in the condition I am with my back, my legs, my body. But I know that if I did hook something like that, I've got these guys here to help me. So, and that's what it's all about, helping each other at the end of the day, mates helping each other, and so on and so forth. I know I come across as a little bit corny sometimes when I make these little videos, but that's what we all do it for at the end of the day, don't we? So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. So I guess it's the last coming up to the last part of the session. There's only a couple of hours left. Like I say, keep stalking for carp. You'll either see me next either with a fish, or it'll be the end of the session and we'll be packing down. But I'm really hoping this rain will stop, so it makes life a lot easier. So let's see what happens in the next few hours, eh? Okay, so there you have it, guys. Sorry, there was going to be a conclusion on the bank, but unfortunately we had to pack down very quickly because the weather was not the best weather. I'm not using it as an excuse for the weekend, but all 4 of us said that the weather wasn't brilliant. It was up and down, and then the second day it was just really cold and really rainy and windy. It was horrible weather, to be fair. Nothing like the weather is forecast for next week, which is a bit of a shame we wasn't going next week. But it is what it is. For me, really enjoyed it. Proper learning curve. It's the first time I've done any type of catfishing in that way. I've only ever done sort of dead baiting and using sort of carping tactics for cats. I've never really used live baits before, and learned how to use tipper rigs and dumbbell rigs, and speaking about leeches and you know, bunches of worms and all that. You know, it's all new to me, and again, I'll be honest with you, I didn't know too much going into it. Done a little bit of research online, but I didn't know too much going into it, because I know that when I spoke to Kelly and I spoke to Ted, and even Keith has got a little bit more experience on me when it comes to that kind of fishing now. You know, even setting up the rods, I didn't have the right hooks or anything, so it was really nice to speak to Kelly and Ted and to really get their overview on how to do this kind of catfishing. And again, unfortunately, you didn't see me too much in the video, apart from sort of doing the presenting, so to speak. It was more about Keith, really. And it was fantastic that they bagged a 48 pounds, a 48 pound kit. Well, I'm calling it a kitten, you know, a 48 pound moggy at night. It was absolutely fantastic. It was a good sort of team effort. And Keith also had a little kitten at night, which we got a really small glimpse of. But yeah, it was very hard going. We did have runs, which didn't materialise into fish. And usually I don't get too many runs myself with catfishing the last couple of years, because we like to do a little annual catfishing session, me and Keith, to at least once a year do a 36 hours catfishing session, amongst all other types of fishing we like to do. Now, because Keith's getting into his catfishing in a big way, and I love catfish, but I'm very nervous as big ones at the moment, due to obviously my health, trying to deal with a big one. But when there's 2 of you or 3 of you, or even 4 of you dealing with it, then it's not so much of an issue when you've got a big old fish. So I would have liked a PB of £25 plus. The lake we was fishing wasn't just any old catfish lake, it had monsters in there, so I'm sure that I could have caught one. I did have 2 runs, as you probably heard, which I'm over the moon. I at least got 2 runs, because at the moment my fishing's quite slow. I'm not getting out as much as I like to, so when I go out, I finally like to enjoy, and hopefully to at least show that I'm doing something right, especially with this new type of fishing for me. I hope you guys learned a lot about the winch method, and Keith took you through some how to set up dumbbell rigs and live bait rigs and tipper rigs and that kind of thing. It's a really short video in terms of the fishing type of thing, but I think it's a fairly good video in terms of maybe anybody that's starting out new in catfishing and they want to do something a little bit different than just sort of sticking out luncheon meat or, you know, boilies, you know, as if they're carp and catfishing at the same time, and you want to go to a venue where they do hold big cats. And let me tell you something, it's no joke, you really do need the strongest of tackle to land these fish, because they will and can snap you up. The particular lake we was fishing wasn't very wide, wasn't very big. You know, if them cats want to get their head down and run, the first place they're going to go to are the snags. They're going to go around the islands, they're going to go into places they know that they may be able to smash you up. And trust me, if you don't have the right tackle, they will take you in them places, they will smash you up. So, if you're going to get into this kind of catfishing, get some proper catfish rods. Leave your £3 test curve cart rods at home. Get yourself some real decent reels, you know, in terms of big heavy surf, sea fishing, or heavy duty spinning reels. You want something with a proper clutch on them. You don't want to, or even some big bait runners like mine. I've got the 10,000 bait runners. I think they're the Aero X's. You want something that's going to really sort of got some muscle on it, because if you're going to use even your big pit reels and the clutch is not there for them, in terms of cranking down, you will smash the clutch up on them eventually. You might not do it after 1 fish, 2 fish, or even 10 fish, but eventually it will go. So, absolutely fantastic session. I learned a lot and I really enjoyed it, I'll be honest, and I'm looking forward to hopefully bagging a PB cat. Like I say, anything over £25 is very accomplishable. And unfortunately it didn't happen on this session. Now I've got my club lake, which holds 4 catfishing, which I'm looking to maybe go and do a little couple of sessions up there. I don't know how I'm going to approach it. I'd like to put some live baits out, which I'm allowed to do. Problem is, it's got loads of pike in there, boulder cants. I mean, I've not really given the pike a proper go on there yet, so I don't know the numbers, and I don't know if I'm going to get plagued by pike all the time. I'd certainly, if I was to put a tipper rig out, maybe even a smaller tipper rig, because it's only a small lake, and the cats only go to about 37 pound in now. I don't want to be using the type of thick fluorocarbon hook links that I was using on this session, because the pike may go through it. So even though they're 80-pound hook links, I want to probably use something like I think Cat Pro, they actually sell some type of catfish hook link which is called pike safe. So it's a catfish hook link which is quite supple, does what it's meant to do, but it's got wire impregnated in it which don't damage the cats but will stop pike biting through. So maybe I need to look into buying some of that stuff, or look on the market and see if there's any other type of hook link material that you can use for catfish and pike in the same lake. The method would certainly work for pike, and Kelly and Ted told me that it would be a good method to use if you want to do some surface fishing for pike. So it's something to think about, but I'll probably end up going up there and just giving it a little go with the old catfish pellets and things like that to start with, maybe bunches of worms, some dead baits. We'll see how we go. But that's it from this session. There is plans that we're all going to meet up once again, hopefully in September, and try and replicate the session we just had, and maybe this time round we may get a better conclusion. Not that it's a bad conclusion, I mean a better conclusion for me, selfishly, that I may actually put a fish on the bank for you. But I am pleased with the session. I had a really good time. I just want to say a massive thank you to Kelly and to Ted. They're absolutely fantastic anglers. They really know their stuff when it comes to catfishing, and I really do thank them for their hospitality, their accommodation. They're great people. They turn out to be very good friends over the last year or so of us talking, and I'm looking forward to doing some zander fishing, hopefully repaying them the compliment and maybe helping them to catch some zander, but we'll see come winter. But here's to some decent fishing. They're off to the Ebro now. I heard that they're going to be some massive cats in the Ebro that they're going for. So good luck to you guys on the Ebro with your friends Bex Nelson, who's also an accomplished carp angler. So good luck to those guys. And I can't wait to get back out with Keith again. As and when that'll be, I don't know. You'll have to look out for a future session. And that's all I want to say is thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you like, comment and subscribe if you enjoy the content. Sorry I'm not posting up as much as I'd like to, but I'm trying to get out as often as I possibly can, and at least bring you something sort of half decent to watch. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget I've got a Facebook page, so head over to the Facebook page if you want updating, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care, guys. Tight line and dead baits.